What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat, and today we are going to be doing a cash run in Rogue Legacy, I think. Now, I've got an assassin ready to go. I did mess around a little bit with the next boss, Herodotus. I remember him fairly well. I remember the strategy fairly well. And so if the cash run goes okay, we'll probably end up doing him at the end, possibly, but he's a little bit long-winded. We can talk about him during the course of this episode, though. So let's go ahead and find our way to another location. At this point, we're leveled up well enough to where we could probably make it through the game pretty easily, especially considering there are people clearing it at level 0 at this point. I mean, there's a lot of projectiles and things flying around. This is unpleasant. I feel positively in the line of fire, and these little platforms aren't making it any easier. There we are, and so they're all out of the way. Ooh, I got him. I got him. I got him. All right. Take those two out, jump over a missile or two, destroy that, take their treasure. There we are. Your treasure is now my treasure, and I shall spend it on nothing. I shall spend it on nothing. I will give it to my descendants. Because that's what a good heir does. God. I will also get hit with bones. Now, let's go ahead and take a look. I upgraded the ninja class, so I can do some stuff that we couldn't do before with the ninja, which is pretty sweet. We can teleport around, which was one of my favorite abilities from before. This character has the horrible, lackluster, nearsighted trait, which is a little bit of a downer. We got a no jumping room right here, which I'm going to take to heart. And we will just skate our way across, and maybe we'll get something good. So we got another siphon rune, which is probably going to go to waste, largely, but I don't know why I'm trying to redo the challenge over again without jumping, because we don't need to. Let's find our way to the forest. I felt like Herodotus was hitting me a little bit hard when I ran my practice run, just to warm up or whatever. I felt like, I don't know, I was getting hit for 70 or so versus him, which makes me feel like my defense is a tad low. That's a pretty sizable chunk of your HP bar. Making it through that fight without getting hit more than 3 times is a challenge, especially for me, considering I haven't been playing the game a whole lot lately, and so my skills are rapidly fading. It's weird how quickly you lose stuff if you don't use it. It's a cliche that I hate to adhere to, but unfortunately that's the way she goes sometimes. To quote, what is this? I have never seen this room before in my life. What is going on here? Oh, I don't like this at all. Take no damage. I've never seen that room before ever. I guarantee we're not going to make it without taking damage. Just looking at it, this corner down directly below me is the problem. I don't think I can drop through layers quickly enough to get that done. Maybe with a dwarf I could do it, but yikes. Not going to take the chance on that one, just the free hits and whatnot. Maybe I'll come back for it in a little bit. Typically I never get anything I like from the fairy rooms anyways, so not something that I instantaneously get excited about whenever I see them. Wipe out as many of these little guys as possible, but I would like to make it to the higher level zones rather than clearing this over and over first and foremost. Got a boss room, that's good. It's forthcoming, give us the treasure as quickly as possible. Probably could have loaded up with a curse rune before I did this, but I'd like to get a little bit of treasure. Yeah, we'll do a Herodotus run after this. I'm gonna get some treasure up and going first, though. We'll do Herodotus at the end, just in case it's a bust and I die. At least we will have gotten something done, so that it isn't a complete and total waste of our time. But that being said, I want to leave the low-level areas open then. I'm going to leave a lot of the mobs, just leave these rooms uncleared. We'll go do the forest and as much of the tower before we go down south and see what's down in the hellish dungeons. So here's the forest right here. I probably should have left that statue. I could have gotten health back if I had thought about it. Wasn't thinking smart, though. Kill those two off. Run through here and see what treasure chests we can locate in the greater scheme of things. Do that the easy way. I'm not going to wait for it to go through and get myself into trouble here. Sprint through right there. If you didn't see my previous playthrough of that trap where I explain it, there's a slight pause at the end, so if you wait for it, you should be alright. You should be mighty fine if you make it towards the end. Sometimes those wolves don't die in one hit when you're playing the assassin, which can be very much a letdown if you're trying to take ground and charge ahead. I started playing Blood Bowl the last day or so, and I can't say that I understand all the rules because the tutorial, I don't feel like hits the finer points of the game. It really just basically gets you up and running. And so I've been looking for a rule book because it is a tabletop game that I never got around to playing. I may consider doing a league playthrough of Blood Bowl though, That might be a lot of fun. I'm not really sure how conducive it is. It feels a little bit luck-based at the moment, but then again, that's what people that are terrible at games say. That's the first bastion of people that are bad at games, is to say they're all based on luck, unless they actually are. If they're actually based on luck, you have a point, but there's a fine line. There's a fine complainer's line, I guess. Ain't nothing but a treasure trove right there, which is fine. I'll take that. Grab a little bit of gold right here, slash my way through some skeletons who are firing their bows at me rather unpleasantly. Just very rude. Very rude. I'm a guest in their forest. I'm trying to make the best of a situation and steal all their gold, and yet they can't do me the common courtesy of not firing projectiles at me. Jerk move, skeletons. Jerk move. Oh, that's cheesy. That was cheesy. That it teleported right underneath me. If you didn't catch what happened right there, I tried to destroy it underground so that it would destroy the spike ball, and it teleported underneath me. It was just a jerky McJerk face about the whole thing. Surprised I made it through that room without eating a projectile or two. Totally cool, though. I gotta remember that I have mist form for the purposes of this playthrough. And I hope you guys don't mind that I kind of fiddled around with Herodotus beforehand. Sometimes I feel rusty about bosses, and I wanted to kind of reacclimate myself to him, because he is a boss that takes, not finesse, but he takes a bit more strategy than the rest. You've got to be careful about the way you approach Herodotus. And so I wanted to make sure that I remembered my strategy fairly well. I will say that giving it my all, I did get killed, so I'm not going to act like I'm the grand poobah of skill of fighting him. I wasn't going to kill him. I was going to suicide once I got him down low enough after I got the strategy down, but I actually did get killed before ever getting him near enough to that point. This guy's firing through layers there, making himself a nuisance. I probably could have smoke bombed my way out of that one, but it's okay. There's plenty of mobs to whittle our way through down here to get some health back, so no big worries there. The joys of Siphon Life, which we are going to be using fairly aggressively when we go to fight Herodotus. No free coinage there. Ooh, and a knockback group. Okay. I think he's gonna shoot through the wall there. Yeah, I was gonna say, I had a feeling. I had myself a feeling that he was gonna fire through the wall, unfortunately. Ooh, and he got me anyways. That's what I get for trying to be too aggressive. I probably should have brought the ninja if we're gonna do the Herodotus run. As I always say, I very much prefer the ninja for just about everything. These guys should pretty much kill themselves, although I do want to get some health back if I can by slashing them down. Please don't teleport, Spike Ball. I will hate you forever if you do so. And then, you know, after hating you, I don't think it's really going to hurt your feelings anyways, given your inanimate nature, but feelings count in this world. Feelings count. Destroy your lamppost. Not really sure why he turned around right there, but he went outside his modus operandi for a moment and flipped on us there. Not a good thing to flip on people. Flipping in all contexts is typically not considered to be a good character trait. Now that we've cleared the forest out, it may be worthwhile to go down to the dungeon level. Let's see what we can get done. I'm fishing for crits here, trying to kill this guy, but I don't know if it's worth it. I'm probably just going to get myself into more trouble than he's worth. Lots of spikes, and we unfortunately do not have the traits to get it done. Normally, the little blurring effect that they're giving me along the edges makes me feel a little motion sick, but in this case, it doesn't seem to be hitting me quite as much as it normally does. Fairly simple room right there with just a couple of the earth summoners. Oh, that's a neat little move there that he pulled, though. Take him out right there. Take the coin from his lamp. He was probably saving it for pizza day, which is, of course, the best day of the week. Finish him off and check the side room. Is this portrait a bad guy? He is. This portrait is indeed a bad guy. And seeing as we're here to get a little bit of cash, and I sort of embarrassed myself against him in the past, there we go. We got rid of him. I still took a hit. I mean, it wasn't as clean as it could have been, but got ourselves a useless helm that I'm never going to use. The Sage Helm, which gives us a little bit more MP as I recall. No, the Sage Helm gives us gold. Never mind. I probably will use that one at some point. Fish out a little bit of gold here. I don't think he'll make that jump. There we go. Take him out. Get a little bit of HP back. As soon as the forest is all nice and taken care of, we'll head back down below and we'll see if we can do a Herodotus run. I can't guarantee that it's going to be successful or lovely, but it might happen. Who knows? Yeah, I'm not going to fiddle with that room, although I could cheese my way through it. Assassino style. Let's see where this one takes me. Huh. So that's actually the first time in the last episode, my good friend Nine, who's been around since I started the channel, told me that those take you to a random spot, and I doubted him. I doubted him like a doubting doubter Thomas. And unfortunately, well, I don't know. I was wrong. I have to admit it now. I was wrong. But I will say that I've used those teleporters about 10 times, and they've never taken me anywhere other than the basement. So, to be fair, empirically, I was at the point statistically where I could make that assertion, or make that assumption. Yeah, I was just in error. So you were right, Nine. I was wrong. You're the best. Take that out. Kill that guy off. Looks like there's nothing in this room that's really appealing. I'm trying to get myself down to the lower levels without killing too many of the mobs here, because we may have to come back and heal up. Unfortunately. Such is the nature of the lower levels. There are some rather nasty configurations you can get on the lower levels that we want to keep our eye on, so no guarantees there. We're probably going to eat some hits on our way to the boss, as is common for me in most cases. Get all that gold right there from the chest. Leave that zombie standing where he may. Figure out where I've gone wrong here. So it looks like I can cut... Oh, never mind. I thought I saw a door down here. Out of the corner of my eye. But unfortunately, that was not present, so I was wrong. Far be it from me to ever trust my lackluster vision. Forget you, single coin. I don't really want you that much anyways. I felt like that was the only option right there, so it's the one that I went for. I'm not going to focus on the diary. I'd like to keep this whole thing succinct. In fact, we missed a couple anyways, so I don't really think it's a big deal. They're not going to be coherent at this point anyways. Got another fairy chest room in a weird spot with a test to kill all enemies. Probably could do it with a scythe, but with the axe, I don't think that's going to be worthwhile. I'm going to leave that up right there in case we take a hit so that I can get the chicken on the way by. See if we can get to the boss without scoring any hits here. I don't like that room, so I'm going to look for other avenues. You never know how close or far away the boss room is going to be, so... God, this is just pitiful. 2 chains over here. There we go. Got rid of him. Definitely gonna have to find myself some chicken before we get on out of here. Now, I'm not necessarily gonna fight these gents, but I am gonna see if any of their statues have any feel-goody goods there that I can consume for quick HP. God. That was fun. Alright. There are Seeker ones, too, that I've seen that fire Seeker missiles, which can be a wee bit of a ringer situation. Let's see if I can finish off the rest of these guys, and then... Oh, there's another big slime down in there. Well, then fine, then. That's a major problem. Oh, there's 2 big slimes down in here. Well, that's no fun at all. So we're going to have to hold the line right here for a moment. They are going to be laying fire down on the ground, so... A few more of them down. We should get the health back that we lost from that overall conflict, I think. Not completely, but you live with the results of what you do, so... There's another one down in there. Wow. This room is well stocked. juggle him just a tad, kill off his offspring. There we go. And so that turned out okay. Making a little bit of cash here. Not a whole lot of chicken legs dropping, though. Defeat all enemies with this one, huh? I don't think I can get him with an axe. Yeah, I was gonna say that wasn't looking incredibly worthwhile. Couple of statues here in a blank room. Not gonna risk that room until I take a look around and figure out. Ah, God. Definitely gonna have to go back and heal in between rounds. His chest is now my chest. Oh my. It's a rather unfortunate room. And we've got a gambler's room there. I'm gonna wait until this guy makes his way back. Yikes. Okay, so there's a second room on the left. Now, I'm not fighting these guys for a reason. If we can find... There we go. So we've got the teleport right here. Got ourselves the Imperial Bracers, which I don't think I've actually had before. Got ourselves a little more money. And what we want to do now is let's go back and make sure that we're nice and healed up like we did before our last go. So I don't think we're going to have much luck there. I think I left the chickens up right here, though. Maybe? No? Okay, we'll continue teleporting around until we find the chickens that we desire. No chickens there either, unfortunately. We have a room full of little mobs, though, so we'll kind of kill these off, get our regeneration on, see if we can get our MP refilled. Oh, it's already refilled. Well, lovely then. Lovely then. Normally, this would not be the amount of HP that I would attempt a boss at, so I don't like our circumstance as of yet. Whew, almost bit the bullet there again. That room, I tell you what, that room is like just a terrible idea for me. That room has just continuously been a bit of a setback. Let's see what we can find on these two little wings right here. On the another gambler's room. Now, if we could ace both of them, we could end up with a lot of cash. That room seemed like it had potential, but it didn't. It screwed us. We've got one little room left up here. I tried to leave as many mobs intact as possible, but I failed because I am a trigger-happy individual, so that's a character trait that I'm going to have to live up to. And also face the consequences of. So there's a little bit more health. Maybe it was down by the entrance to there that I left the chicken up. Aha, it was. And so there we are, a little bit more health. Let me make sure that there's nothing left over here that I can slaughter. As right now, our health is not at the point that I would prefer it to be. Oop, wrong button. There we go. Alright, well, I suppose... I don't know. I would normally just, like, if I was streaming, I would just leave it up to you guys and be like, listen, I don't know. If you guys want me to go for it with less than satisfactory health, we'll go for it. But I guess I'll take a shot at him. No guarantees on this pull. So there is a strategy to this guy. You want to whittle him down as slowly as possible. Now, most bosses in this game are a DPS race. You really want to kill them as rapidly as possible. Herodotus is a little different in that respect. He splits every time you deal a certain amount of damage. Now, when he splits, he releases one of these little magey dudes, which makes a problem for you. You don't want him to split too much, though, because then he literally fills the entire arena with his offspring. You want him to split slowly. You want to make sure that at no time do you have just absurd, unfathomable amounts of Herodotuses or Herodoti running around. Additionally, you do run the risk of him landing on platforms underneath you, so there is a little bit of RNG in this fight. Sometimes you end up getting yourself killed when you probably shouldn't. Sometimes things happen, and you just kind of got to roll with it. I don't know where the big guy is. Yeah, I was going to say I could land right on him right now, so I don't have eyes on where our large amigo is at. I like to stick to the 2 outside platforms for all of my killing and clearing. Yeah, I figured I made a mistake right there. We did a little bit of damage, caused him to split too much. May find ourselves... I may break my own advice here and just start DPSing like mad. We're about to take hits and die anyways. See if I can goad anybody up and onto this platform. I was trying to bait a crit right there, but unfortunately I couldn't get one out. Get rid of him as best as possible. Luckily you do get gold for this, so as you're clearing out all these little pleasant fellows, you can land yourself some reasonable loot. I like that the crits are one-shotting the little guys. That is helpful. You don't want to waste absurd amounts of time fighting with the little guys. Ugh. Get him taken care of, and now we're going to have to fall back on the shadow step type deal. So anytime I get in trouble from here on out, we're going to want to be shadow stepping because we only have like 1 hit left. And I'm going to try and get the little guys up on the platforms as best as possible. I'm going to wait only for optimal hits here because all the big guys are pretty much out of the way. So I'm going to see who lands on the ledge up here. Nope, no satisfactory hit that I like, and so back to the other side. This one is largely, it's not altogether a waiting game, but you want to be careful with it. You don't want to get yourself into an unwinnable situation because if you end up with slimes all over the place, you're pretty much toast to begin with. So I just alternate the platforms and wait for the hits that I can get. He retreated a little bit right there, which is not a normal tactic for the slime, but they do it on occasion. Okay, and there goes another little guy right there. And then we'll try and bait a jump right here. I don't know if it's going to happen. Ooh, and they're all up underneath me, unfortunately. Alright, got rid of that little underling, and then back to the other side, just kiting them back and forth as much as possible. I could be throwing axes and things right here, but I really want to make sure that I'm okay. I apologize for breaking off commentary there for just a moment. Sometimes I... Oh, I almost got him. Well, there we go. Oh, he dropped a chicken. Lovely little friend. That is my favorite slime that we have fought thus far. He's my favorite. Of all the slimes that I've had the opportunity to slaughter during the course of this whole thing, he is my favorite. I name him Teddy. Nope, not like that. That is not how I'm going to go out here. And so we did get a critical off on that guy, and you'll see what I mean just by sort of playing slowly. You see what I mean? Like, you want to make sure that you take the hits you can get. You don't kind of tempt fate in any way. You want to play very, very safely with this boss fight. I don't really like having him above me. That makes me very uncomfortable that he's taking the top platform right there, so I'm just going to vacate right now. Maybe kill off one of the little guys. Oh, maybe kill off 2 of the little guys. Get a little bit of damage on each of them. And back to the other side. So if they're behind you, they're largely a non-issue. You just kind of make sure that they don't do anything too aggressive. Just kind of keep them away from you as best as possible. I could get that little guy right there, but I don't like the positioning of all of his amigos. So down goes another. And we're slowly thinning the herd here, which is good. Something to bear in mind. We got too many on that platform, so back to the other end. And I know that I sound like a broken record, but this is the strategy that has worked for me repeatedly with Herodotus. This is my favorite way to fight him. You know, it's a little cowardly. No, we're not going to lose right here. We are not going to lose right here. I refuse. I refuse to lose after how much progress we've made. I am going to allow them to gather a little bit on this side. Just take it a little bit slower than I would normally. Okay, a little bit of health there. And they're all starting to mob up on our platform, so we'll take this central platform, which is never a terrible idea either. And I probably could have got a swing off on that little guy, but where our health is at, I'd prefer to keep myself out of a situation of that sort. And while I don't like the thought of splitting up any more of the little guys and ending up with enormous hordes of the little buggers, I'm also not fond of larger targets running around. Okay, there goes another one. And this is why I stack, for this fight, I always stack Vampirism. It's a very nice little rune to have for this whole thing, because you can see I've just increased my HP by like 20 killing all of those, which puts me in a nice spot to recover. As it stands right now, I'm fairly sure we would have died if it weren't for Life Leech, so... And as they thin out, this fight gets easier and easier and easier. So... This fight is very much front-loaded, I guess is the way that I would describe it. It's front-loaded to be a difficult fight, but if you could make it through the beginning... It's a test of your endurance and if you can pull it off, so... As long as your dodging skills are more competent than mine, you'll probably make this look a lot better than I did. I made this look like absolute garbage. This fight was it was downright stressful for me. I'll put it like that. Still just sort of waiting for the hit that I want right here. Those spike traps do about 60 damage, so I want to be careful. And he's down, so that is the Herodotus kill. And he dropped a sizable grip of treasure. And so there it is, guys. We've killed Herodotus. This has been... What did we get here? What did we get? So we got strength increase, armor increase, and MP increase. If we'd gotten another strength increase, I would have been happier, but that's a pretty good pull from a chest, so I'm happy. We'll teleport our way out and watch the doors start glowing. And we're ready for the final boss. Now, I'll probably do a few loot runs. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see me do the loot runs, or if you want me to just kind of, I don't know, just go straight for the boss and just start pull attempts. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure the way that I want to face this guy. I don't know if I should suicide right now. The episode's sort of over, but I could draw it out a little bit further, I suppose. Okay, one horsey friend down. One equestrian foe deleted. Yeah, I can do this. I can do this, I swear. You all know by now that when my commentary breaks off, it means that I'm focusing with all of my... every last ounce of my minuscule intellectual ability to focus. I'm rerouting. Basically, I'm repowering from my brain and everywhere else to my fingers just to make this... Ooh, do we gamble? Huh? What do you guys think? Do we gamble? Ooh, I'm a gambler normally, but this kind of terrifies me. We have a lot of gold on hand. We could do a reasonable amount of upgrading. I don't like to live on the edge. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't like to live on the edge. Okay, I can escape from this. One of my main problems is that my special abilities are not something that I readily retreat to. And what I mean when I say that is that I don't use abilities up front to avoid hits. I tend to think about it first and be like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh yeah, I can do that. And then I fix the problem. What's going on in this room? This room looks kind of threatening. Lots of spike traps and things. More spike traps than a Nintendo game. Oh, right. We had another room over there. Let's see what's down this way. Oh, that was a wee bit cheesy, but whatever. Not gonna cry over spilt milk here. Oh, that's multiple layers. Okay. Is there anything down below him? I'm gonna prefer that the spiky balls stay together. We're not getting the crits that I would love to... No! You will not have me, spiky ball. You will not have me. I think that's what they're called. Like if you Dido one, I think it calls them spikules. And now we should be able to just cheese mode these dudes up above us. Yay, treasure. Alright. Happy with the result. We took a little bit of damage, but I'll take it. Nope. Sometimes you just gotta treat a room like math class and zone the oh, I died. I knew I died the second I pushed the trigger. I know you guys have that happen to you when you play. Like, the second you make an action, you know that it just kills your character. Before your character's even dead, you're like, well, that killed me. The second my finger pressed the left trigger, I was like, well, I'm dead. But anyways, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here. I haven't been reading the journals because I missed a few, basically. I accidentally opened one or two while I was running through in my practice runs, and so that kind of made them non-contiguous. If you really want me to read them from where they're at, I will. I think where it left off is he had cleared the forest boss, and he was starting to have, not insomnia, he was starting to have mental issues. He couldn't remember, amnesia, there we go. He couldn't remember what had happened. But that was our strategy for the Herodotus kill, so I hope you enjoyed it. It was a little sloppy. It wasn't as clean as I would prefer it to be, but it worked out in the end. I hope to see you guys next time here at the Nerd Castle, and take care out there, everybody.